Hello viewers. Welcome to Seek Wisdom. First of all, we would like to thank you for playing out this video. Today, we present you the summary of the book, I'll Teach You to Be Rich, written by Ramit Sethi. It's a logical, step-by-step, practical handbook for financial success. The book gives fairly in-depth explanations of personal finance fundamentals. We hope you like it. Let's get started. Have you ever thought why so many people get fat after college? People who vowed never ever get fat look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. This weight gain doesn't happen overnight. Ounce by ounce, it creeps up on us as we're driving to work and then sitting behind a computer for 8 to 10 hours a day. Discuss this topic with someone and you can hear a lot of suggestions on how to avoid it, but nobody wants to take action. The point is that we love to debate minutiae. Coming to the reason of getting fat is, we either ignore it and feel guilty, or we obsess over details by arguing without taking action. Both options yield the same results, none. Money and food are similar. People have lots and lots of reasons for not managing their money, some of them valid but most of them poorly veiled excuses for laziness. Here are some of those excuses. Our education system doesn't teach this. I need another $100 salary. To maintain your health, you do not need to be a doctor. You already know what habits are making you unhealthy. Similarly, you don't need a financial advisor to help you get rich. The single most important factor to getting rich is getting started. A lot of your financial problems are caused by one person, you. So, instead of blaming the economy and corporate for your financial situation, you need to focus on what you can change yourself. This book will show you how to take the money you're making and redirect it to the places you want it to go, including substantially growing your money over the long term. No matter what the economy is like. Let's start with 2 questions. Why do you want to be rich? What does being rich mean to you? It's different for everyone, and money is just a small part of being rich. If you don't consciously choose what rich means, it's easy to end up mindlessly trying to keep up with your friends. So, before going any further, set your goals today. Why do you want to be rich? What do you want to do with your wealth? This book will cover 6 topics. 1. Setting your credit card and improving your credit score. 2. Setting up right bank accounts. 3. Opening a retirement and investment account. 4. Figuring out how much you're spending and how to make your money go where you want it to go. 5. Automating your new infrastructure to make your accounts play together nicely. 6. Learning to choose a low-cost automatic portfolio that beats typical Wall Street portfolios. Let's start with credit cards. Credit is one of the most vital factors in getting rich. So understanding your credit is more important than ever. There are 2 main components to credit, the credit report and the credit score. Your credit report gives potential lenders basic information about you, your accounts, and your payment history. Your credit score is a number between 300 and 850 that represents your credit risk to lenders. The lenders take this number, higher is better, and, with a few other pieces of information, such as your salary and age, decide if they'll lend you money for credit like a credit card, mortgage, or car loan. They'll charge you more or less for the loan, depending on the score, which signifies how risky you are. A good credit score can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest charges. So, let's dig into tactics for improving your credit. Credit comes in many forms, car loans, mortgages, and so on, but we're going to start with credit cards because almost all of us have one. And they're the fastest and most concrete way to optimize your credit. As long as you manage them well, they're worth having. But if you don't completely pay off your bill at the end of the month, you'll owe an enormous amount of interest on the remainder, usually about 14%. It's also easy to overuse credit cards and find yourself in debt. To get the most out of using credit, you need to optimize your credit card and use them as a spearhead to improve your overall credit. Let's get started with getting a new card. First is, avoid those credit card offers you receive in the mail. Avoid cashback cards, which don't actually pay you much cash. Compare cards online. Rewards are important, so make sure the rewards it offers are something you'll actually want. Like if you travel a lot, get an airline card that gives you free companion tickets, free flights. Regarding number of cards, 2 or 3 is a good rule of thumb. Pay off your credit card regularly because any failure will attract interest of balance amount, which charges around 14% and it improves your credit score. Set automatic payment to avoid missing paying card bill. If you have fees on your card, get it waived off by calling the customer care and negotiate giving reference of long term of using card and previous history. You can also negotiate for reducing annual percentage rate. Keep your cards for a long time and keep them active. It is valuable for your credit score. Get more credit limit only if you have no debt. More limit improves your credit utilization rate, which makes up 30% of your credit score. Always track your calls to credit card companies. Whenever you make a call regarding a dispute on your credit card, it is very powerful to refer back to the last time you called, citing the representative's name, date of conversation, and your call notes. Most credit card representatives you talk to will simply give in because they know you came to play in the big leagues. When you'll be more prepared, chances are you'll get what you want. Avoid closing your credit accounts. If you're applying for a major loan, for a car, home, or education, don't close any accounts within 6 months of filing the loan application. Next comes about debt. Being in debt is the new normal, and 2 largest types of debts being faced in 20s or 30s is student loans and credit card debt. For overcoming debt, first suggestion is, increase the amount of installment being paid. Second suggestion is, to pay additional amount, besides monthly installment. For credit card debt, here are 5 steps. 1. Figure out how much debt you have. 2. Decide what to pay off first. It is preferred to pay card with higher interest rate first. Once your credit cards are ranked properly, pay the minimum amount due listed on the statement for every card except the one at the top of the list. Dedicate all the extra funds you have to paying it off. Do this every month until that first credit card balance disappears. Then move to the second card on the list. 3. Negotiate down the annual percentage rate. 4. Decide where the money to pay off your credit cards will come from. Reduce spending and prioritize debt. 5. Get started. Within the coming week, you should start paying more money toward your debt. If you find yourself taking more time than that to get started, you're overthinking it. Next comes the banks. Fundamentally, banks earn money by lending the money you deposit to other people and from various fees. One of such fees is overdraft fees. One overdraft fee can wipe out your interest for the entire year. Remember, your bank's fees are often more important than the interest rate it offers. Coming to setting bank accounts, the basic setup is to have a checking and savings account at any local bank. Even if you already have these accounts, it's worth talking to your bank to be sure you're not paying any fees. Considering fees and other features, you can also have accounts at 2 separate institutions, a no-fee checking account at your local bank and a high-yield online savings account. With the checking account, you'll have immediate access to your money and the ability to transfer cash to your high-interest online savings account for free. Next is the advanced setup. This setup consists of several checking accounts and savings accounts at different banks. Most traditional banks offer different checking and savings accounts to serve customers with different needs and amounts of money. You should research the options at a few different banks like a no-fee, no-minimum account. Even if the accounts have fees or minimums, ask about ways to get them waived. Here are 5 other things to be considered when choosing a bank account. 1. Avoid banks that offer teaser rates. 2. Requiring minimum balances to get free services like checking and bill paying. 3. Upsells to expensive accounts. Most of these value-added accounts are designed to charge you for worthless services. 4. Holding out by telling you that the no-fee, no-minimum accounts aren't available anymore. 5. Bundling a credit card with your bank account. If you didn't walk in specifically wanting the bank credit card, don't get it. Leave 1.5 months of living expenses in your checking account, or as close to it as you can manage. Transfer the rest to your savings account. So, now you have started saving, but only saving is not enough. You need a way to put that money to work for you so it earns more than even the highest yielding savings account, and investing is the first and best way to do it. Albert Einstein said, "Compounding is mankind's greatest invention because it allows for the reliable, systematic accumulation of wealth." Investing may seem intimidating, but it's actually quite painless. Before proceeding, do you know why young people are not investing? Most of them will say, "I don't know how to pick stocks," which is ironic because investing isn't about picking stocks. Another reason is, they are scared. Most people will never get rich simply because they have poor attitudes and behaviors about money. And reason for this poor attitude is due to lack of education, too much information, confusing messages from the media, or simply a lack of interest, resulting in most people not having enough money for retirement. Investing is the single most effective way to get rich. Here are 5 steps you should take to invest. 1. If your employer offers a 401k match, invest to take full advantage of it and contribute just enough to get 100% of the match. 2. Pay off your credit card and any other debt. 3. Open up a Roth IRA and contribute as much money as possible to it. 4. If you have money left over, go back to your 401k and contribute as much as possible to it. 5. If you still have money left to invest, open a regular non-retirement account and put as much as possible there. Consider investing in yourself, whether it's starting a company or getting an additional degree. There's often no better investment than your own career. Before opening an investment account, do compare minimum required investments and features like customer service via phone toll-free, 24/7, easy online interface, easy automatic investing. Next comes conscious spending. Nowadays, we are spending more on our cell phones than most people in other countries do on their mortgages. We buy shoes that cost more than our grandparents paid for their cars. Under conscious spending, we're going to gently create a new, simple way of spending. It will help you redirect it to the places you choose, like investing, saving, and even spending more on the things you love. Don't worry, it is not related to creating a budget, as budgets normally don't work. Instead, let's create a conscious spending plan. It is about becoming frugal. Frugality isn't about cutting your spending on everything. It is about choosing the things you love enough to spend extravagantly on, and then cutting costs mercilessly on the things you don't love. Author recommends to use a la carte method. Here's how it works. Cancel all the discretionary subscriptions you can, your magazines, TV, cable, even your gym. Then, buy what you need a la carte. The a la carte method works for 3 reasons. 1. You're probably overpaying already. 2. You're forced to be conscious about your spending. 3. You value what you pay for. Downside of this method is it requires you to automate your life. This is the price you pay for saving money. A conscious spending plan involves 4 major buckets where your money will go: fixed costs, investments, savings, and guilt-free spending money. Fixed costs are the amounts you must pay, like your rent, mortgage, utilities, cell phone, and student loans. Add 15% to this for expenditures you haven't counted yet or any unexpected expenses. A good rule of thumb is that fixed costs should be 50 to 60% of your take-home pay. Once you've got a fairly accurate number here, subtract it from your take-home pay. Now you'll know how much you'll have left over to spend in other categories like investing, saving, and guilt-free spending. Invest 10% of your take-home pay for the long term. Remember, the more aggressively you save now, the more you'll have later. Save 5 to 10% of your take-home pay in saving bucket, which includes short-term goals like vacation, mid-term savings goals like wedding, and longer-term goals like a down payment on a house. Last bucket is guilt-free spending. Use 20 to 35% of your take-home income for this. This bucket contains the fun money. Money here covers things like going out to restaurants and bars, taxes, movies. For optimizing your spending, do an 80 to 20 analysis, which often reveals that 80% of what you overspend is used toward only 20% of your expenditures. Try focusing on big wins that will make a large, measurable change. Also, don't save without having any realistic goals. It changes the entire motivation for saving, and it makes saving much easier to make and justify your decisions. Whenever implementing any change in your personal finances, eating habits, exercise plan, or whatever, try making the smallest change today. Something you won't even notice. And then gradually increase it. In this way, it adds up to a lot in the end. If you simply can't cut more out of your budget, it means you have more important concerns, making more money. Once you increase your earnings, you can use the conscious spending plan as your guide. Until then, here are 3 strategies you can use to earn more. 1. Negotiate a raise. 2. Get a higher paying job. 3. Do some freelance work. When you get a raise, be realistic. Maintain your current standard of living, saving and investing as much of it as possible. At this stage, implement your automatic money flow. Link all your accounts together. Then, set up automatic transfers to happen on various days for various buckets mentioned above. Now comes about busting some myths. All our lives, we have been taught to defer to experts, but when it comes to investing, fund managers and anyone who attempts to predict the market are often no better than amateurs. They're often worse. So, for the average investor, the value of financial expertise is a myth. The fact is that nobody can predict where the market is going. The only long-term solution is to invest regularly, putting as much money as possible into low-cost, diversified funds, even in an economic downturn. Most people don't actually need a financial advisor. You can do it all on your own and come out ahead. You just have to know where to invest. Mutual funds are often considered the simplest and best way for most people to invest. Mutual funds typically charge 1.5 to 3% of assets managed each year. Alternate is the passive or index funds. The big difference is in fees. Index funds have lower fees than mutual funds. Apart from fees, even in terms of returns, passive funds beat active funds in long term. Go for automatic investment. With automatic investing, you invest in low-cost funds and you save tens of thousands of dollars in trading fees, taxes, and overall investment expenses, outperforming most investors. 2 reasons for automatic investment are lower expenses and it's automatic. Another option is to invest in stocks. When you buy stock, you buy shares of a company. If the company does well, you expect your stock in it to do well. The tricky thing about stocks is you never know what will happen. Next option is bonds. The advantages of bonds are that you can choose the term or length of time you want the loan to last, and you know exactly how much you'll get when they are mature. Also, bonds are generally stable and let you decrease the risk in your portfolio. But because bonds are such a safe, low-risk investment, the return is much lower than it would be on an excellent stock. Next comes cash. In investing terms, cash is money that's sitting on the sidelines, uninvested and earning only a little money in interest from money market accounts. You want to have totally liquid cash on hand for emergencies. However, if you factor inflation, you actually lose money by holding cash in most accounts. Also, investing in only one category is dangerous over the long term. This is where the important concept of asset allocation comes into play. Another option is life cycle funds. Life cycle funds are simple funds that automatically diversify your investments for you based on age. Life cycle funds are actually collections made up of other funds, which offer automatic diversification. Life cycle funds aren't perfect for everyone because they work on one variable alone, age. Everyone has different investment needs, and these funds aren't particularly tailored to your individual situation. Considering all above options, index funds are clearly far superior to buying either individual stocks and bonds or mutual funds. With their low fees, they are a great choice if you want to create and control the exact makeup of your portfolio. Only disadvantage is, you have to buy different index funds to create diversity in your portfolio, which can be done as, put 30% in domestic equities, 15% in developed world international equities, 5% in emerging market equities, 20% in real estate funds, 15% in government bonds, and 15% in treasury inflation-protected securities. If you suddenly need money for an emergency, here's your hierarchy of where to get it. 1. Use your savings account. 2. Sell any valuables that aren't critical to you. 3. Ask your family if you can borrow the money from them. 4. Use the money in your retirement accounts. 5. Use your credit card only as a last resort. Now, say you have an investment you want to sell due to poor performance. Don't sell immediately. All industries experience declines at one time or another. Check if the stock is performing in line with the rest of the industry. If you think the industry or investment is simply going through a cyclical downturn, then hang on to the investment and continue regular purchases of shares. If, however, you think the industry won't recover, you may want to sell the investment. If this stock really had been underperforming against its industry index, then you may sell. Until this, you have set your accounts to work together automatically. You know how much you can afford to spend going out and how much you want to save each month. If something goes wrong, your system lets you easily see if you need to cut costs, make more money, or adjust your lifestyle. If you ask people 5 to 10 years older than you what they wish they had started earlier, you'll get 3 answers right off the bat. 1. Create an emergency fund. Your emergency fund should contain 6 months of spending money. 2. Insurance. As you get older and more crotchety, you'll want more and more types of insurance to protect yourself from loss. Statistically, we hardly ever die, and the insurance payout is useful only for people who depend on your livelihood, like your spouse and kids. Beyond that, insurance is really out of the scope of this book. Also, insurance is almost never a good investment. So use it as protection from downside risk. 3. Children's education. These are just a few of the things you'll be forced to think about in the next 10 years. Also, part of getting rich is giving back to the community that helped you flourish. There are lots of traditional ways to do this, like volunteering or becoming a big brother or big sister. You can donate to your high school, local library, environmental action groups. And if you're short on cash, donate your time, which is often more valuable than money. Now here are some queries that author received with their solutions. Paying student loan first or investing? Here you have 3 choices. Pay the minimum monthly payment on your student loans and invest the rest. Pay as much as possible toward your student loans and then, once they are paid off, start investing. Do a hybrid 50-50 approach, where you pay half toward your student loans. Use interest rate to decide which choice to select. What to do if your partner spends money irresponsibly? The solution to this is to elevate the conversation beyond you and your partner. Look at how much it costs to save for common purchases like vacations or a new car. Then have a conversation about what your savings goals are and how much you need to save to reach them and come to a savings plan that you both agree on. If you do this, the next time you have an argument about spending, you can steer it away from you and your partner and instead make it about the plan. The average American wedding costs almost $28,000. These people should just realize that a wedding is about having a special day, not about putting yourself in crippling debt. Knowing the astonishingly high costs of weddings, what can you do? Here are 3 choices: cut costs and have a simpler wedding. Do nothing and figure it out later. Budget and plan for the wedding. Now coming to buying big-ticket items. First is car. The single most important decision associated with buying a car is not the brand or the mileage. It is how long you keep the car before selling it. Here are some do's and don'ts for buying a car. Investigate recent graduate incentive plans. Calculate total cost of ownership. This means you figure out how much you'll be spending over the life of the car. Buy a car that will last you at least 10 years. Don't lease your car. Don't sell it before 7 years. Don't stretch your budget for a car. And most important is, maintaining your car. It sounds boring, but it will make you rich when you eventually sell your car. So take your car's maintenance as seriously as your retirement savings. Next big ticket is buying a house. Houses really aren't very good investments in general. So, buy a house only if you are planning to live in that place for more than 10 years. If you are thinking to buy it for investment purpose, please note that real estate is a poor investment for individual investors. If you live in an expensive area, renting is a better option than buying. Still, if you want to buy a house, ensure to pay 20% as down payment, 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, and monthly payment should not be more than 30% of your gross pay. If you have not reached this stage, wait until you've saved more. Here we come to the end of the video, which, if we are successful in imparting the message, will be the beginning of a rich future for you. Do share this video with your friends and relatives to help them focus on their goals, too. A rich life is about more than money. It starts by managing your own. And it continues by helping others become rich. Here we shall wind up the video. We hope you like it. See you soon with another video. Till then, take care.